On the cost, if you're going to replace and do everything in your kitchen, meaning you're going to tear everything out and put everything back in, and oftentimes you're moving some electrical and plumbing and so forth, if that's the case, you need to plan approximately 15% of the value of your home to do so. And I've got another video that I'll link in the description here that gives you how to do the budget breakdown. Okay. I've used that budget worksheet on thousands of kitchen remodel projects, and it's very true. If you decide you don't need a certain element of that, such as you're going to keep your existing appliances, then pull that out of your budget. Timeline. You're going to need to plan. Usually you're looking at 1 to 2 months for every phase of the project. So here's what I mean. 1 to 2 months for the planning, and that's if you're concertedly or consistently planning on a regular basis to get ready to sign the contract and order materials. Then you need at least 1 to 2 months to wait for the materials to arrive. Do not do any demolition until those materials have arrived. Put them in your garage, on your premises, but do not do any demolition. And then third, you're looking at about 1 to 2 months for the actual construction. Now this can vary. The smaller or the less expensive the project, it can be a little bit lower on each of those. And the higher end and more luxurious and large scale the project, then of course each of those timelines will increase a little bit. Okay. Once you've established those, and of course you come up with your plan, and whether you're doing it yourself or getting assistance or help from a friend or a professional, either way, you want to go through and design and lay it out and make sure that you have a plan of where everything's going, what your selections are. You've considered walkway spaces, safety, storage, features, lighting. The next part of the process in renovating a kitchen is going to be basically you've got to do the demolition. So before you tear apart your existing kitchen, I recommend you get a secondary kitchen or a kitchenette or a space where you can at least wash your hands and wash some dishes and microwave some food and something else. If you have a downstairs kitchen, great. If you've got an RV or a motorhome in the driveway or garage, so be it, then great. Use that as a temporary. Or plan to eat out a whole lot and not to use the kitchen much at all, because it won't be usable for at least 1 to 2 weeks at the minimum at all. I mean, sometimes you can have a contractor spend a little extra money and time to set the kitchen up temporarily, because during the times of things such as tape texture drywall, templating for countertops, you're going to have some downtime there while you wait. Okay. All right. So then after that, and you get all the materials in the garage, then you go ahead and start the demolition. In the demolition phase, now, I don't know for sure if you're watching this because you want to do the project or if a contractor does, okay? So things are a little bit different there. It's going to go slower if you're doing the project unless you've done many of these projects in the past, like anything that you get good at, okay? Be very careful when you do demolition. If it's an older house, you have things such as asbestos and lead and other things like that you need to be aware of that can be a problem. So if you've got popcorn ceilings, if you've got linoleum flooring or some really old flooring that's been in there for some time, you might have some issues with asbestos. In that case, you've got to take some precautions, which is for another time. You start to tear and relocate anything you need to relocate. So this is going to be your plumbing, electrical, HVAC for ventilation and so forth. Then after everything is relocated to right where it goes according to the plan, double check your specs, such as your appliance specs for your water lines, your all the specs, specifications, your lighting specs as far as how thick maybe a can goes into the ceiling, your ventilation specs as far as the size of the ducting that's required, because all those things in the rough-in phase need to be addressed at that point. I will teach you a little trick about this phase of the project too that's really smart. You've probably heard, and maybe you've seen some videos already, but put blocking into your studs. What that means is you're going to put 2x4s or 2x6s in between your studs horizontally, about where the tops of your base cabinets will be and about where the bottoms of your wall cabinets will be. Well, what that does is it makes it way easier to install cabinets. You don't have to find a vertical stud. Now basically you've got horizontal studs as well. Really easy to work around. Sometimes you've got limitations based on what's in that area, so you might have challenges to work around there. But just be aware that it makes the installation a lot better. And then you start to fill in. You're going to do any insulation necessary. Maybe there's windows and doors involved. And you're going to get your drywall, tape, texture, and paint. May I recommend? In fact, I do recommend. Except for floating floors. There's a reason why I'm not a huge fan of the floating concept for long-term applications. Put the flooring underneath all the cabinets. Okay, put the flooring underneath everything. Makes it really easy to put in. Put your cabinets on top. Level them out as needed. But then when you have a leak, that leak is visible and detectable much faster than if those floating floors or those floors go up to the cabinets and there's that gap, underneath the cabinets where there's no flooring. Then water can leak there and pool up for a while and do damage before you're ever, before you ever detect it. Okay. All right, then after that, you're getting into some of the finish stage. You want to after you get your cabinets in, double check all your measurements to make sure all the specs and everything is meeting. Triple check if you have to. Always go back to the plan. Use that as kind of the source, right, of the knowledge and wisdom. If the plan is incorrect, the plan should be updated and revised so that everybody, the electrician, the plumber, the flooring contract, drywall guy, maybe not the painter necessarily, but cabinets, countertops, lighting, all these aspects or elements of the project, always go back to and refer to an accurate plan, okay? That way your final execution can be done well. Now, one thing you should be aware of in renovating a kitchen is you will have mistakes, you'll have surprises, you will have errors. Don't be surprised. That's the nature of the industry. I've done thousands of remodel projects over my 30-year career as a kitchen designer. And then after all that's done, you fine tuning, you're going to have some of your finished materials, your finished plumbing, your finished electrical, your countertops going to go in, your hardware and your cabinets, maybe some trim and touch up around the cabinets. Let me just say this. If you're a do-it-yourselfer or a handy person, so to say, it can be a lot of fun to remodel a kitchen, but it is no fun when you're waiting on yourself for your kitchen to be usable. So I hope this helps. I'm Shad with Kitchen Design, and I hope that you like it. If you like it, please subscribe. Let's see each other more. Thanks.